Hi, I'm Dr. Greg Steinberg, and welcome to Thrive Thursday podcast. And today I want to speak about the magic ratio of happiness. And it really relates to negative self talk versus positive self talk. But before I talk about the ratio, let me speak about the negativity bias because it's easy to be negative, right? But it comes from 40,000 years ago when we were hunters and gatherers. We had to be negative. We had to say, oh, if I go over that hill, I might get eaten. Or what's behind that rock? I might get eaten. And so negativity helped us to stay alive. And so a lot of us has brought over that habit to today's world, and we're negative. And actually, it's easy to be negative, right? It's easy to say negative stuff all the time. It's a lot harder to be positive, especially when bad stuff happens to you. So let me talk about the magic ratio of happiness. What research shows is you must say at least 3 positive self-statements to 1 negative. Now, of course, you could say 5 or 7, but at least 3 positive self-statements. So let me first ask you, what's your ratio? Do you say 3 or 2 or 7 positive self-statements to 1? First, find out your ratio, because maybe you have that ratio. But if you have a tendency to be negative, like a lot of people do, what I would recommend is using this thought stopping technique. Every time you say negative self-statement, say stop and replace it with a positive self-statement. Now, the other thing I would do is I would make a list of 3 or 4 or 5 positive self-statements that you could use throughout the day. Like, I feel good today. I'm confident. I'm a good speaker. I'm a good writer. I'm a good person. Whatever it is, have those ready. So when you have that negative self-statement, you say stop and you replace it with a positive, but also you just constantly use those positive self-statements throughout the day. Now, the secret to this magic ratio of happiness is that it must become your habit, because when times get tough, we go to our habits. And so if you have a tendency to be negative, that negativity is going to come out under pressure when bad stuff happens to you during the day. But if you have a positive self-habit, then that's what's going to come out, because you've made that your habit. And if you have the magic ratio of happiness, at least 3 positive self-statements to 1 negative, you will begin to thrive. So I hope this is helpful. This is Thrive Thursday, and I'm Dr. Greg Steinberg.